If you are enjoying Unity of Kona, consider making a monthly donation to our ministry. And if we can help you with any spiritual needs, whether through prayer support, continuing education, or other assistance, please contact us at unityofkona@gmail.com. Thank you. Our service will begin in just a few moments. We appreciate our viewers participating in the online discussion taking place on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Unity of Kona. Feel free to share this link with your friends on your timeline. Thank you.
Oh. Oh. Well, I have to read something. That's why. No, I'm good. I'm good. Can you hear me? On the mic. Oh. Okay. Okay. This morning's chant is taken from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8. And it says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always persevere. Love never fails. Kealoha o ke kuala e ia. Aole ho'i e ho'ohi e hi e. Aole he hiki wawe kahu e ia. Aole no ino. Kealoha o ke kuala e ia. Aole pa oni ke aloha. Aole ha'anui aku ke aloha e ia. Aole he ha'ake. Kealoha o ke kuala e ia. Aole ia he ho'opuni puni. Aole imi kona I hola e ia. Aole he kuakuai. Ke mawine ke ia mau me ala e ia. Kamana o iyo, kamana o lana. A me ke aloha o ke akuala e ia. Kealoha na e ka I oe.
Thank you, Kealoha. That was truly beautiful. And that sets the tone for our day. And as we get into our service this morning, kakaiaka e komamai. Good morning and welcome. Unity Church of Kona. It's an honor to be here on this beautiful Sunday morning here in Hawaii. And as we get started with our service, we like to start with prayer. So today's prayer is on faith. My faith keeps me focused on God. I may not be able to control what happens around me, but I always am free to choose what happens within me. It is always my choice to decide how I react to any given circumstance I participate in. My perception determines my experience. I begin with faith. I choose to see the vibrant wellness that is present even during illness. I open my heart and mind to the harmony that I know is possible, even in the midst of apparent discord. When my needs appear greater than my resources, I remind myself, all supply springs forth from the inexhaustible well of divine substance. So it is. The Bible quote, if I had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted into the sea, and it would be obeyed. Luke 17:6. Amen. So, again, welcome to Unity Church of Kona. It's a delight and an honor to be here on this beautiful Sunday morning. We're getting a little spoiled. It's always beautiful here, but this is just a gorgeous way to start the beautiful weeks that we're coming into. And after all the upset and discord in the world, let's take a moment and have faith in life. And as we like to begin our service with the affirmation for the month, so if I could ask you to please stand as we do the affirmation for the month, which is here on the board. For the month of May, it's power. And together, I have the power to create my world. And so it is. And so while we stand, we're going to do our opening song. And this song is rewritten by Kealoha as a beautiful O Hawaii Ne. You might recognize the tune, and the words will be on the board.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, beautiful Hawaii Ne, a paradise on earth, a melting pot for every race. We live in harmony. Hawaii Ne, Hawaii Ne, ohana are we. From sunrise east to sunset west, aloha for us all. Oh, beautiful Hawaii Ne, for rainbows in the sky and valleys full of waterfalls, where forests lush and rare. Hawaii Ne, Hawaii Ne, ohana are we. From sunrise east to sunset west, aloha for us all. Oh, beautiful Hawaii Ne, for snow-capped Mauna Kea, Pacific Pele's lava flows. Hawaii, Hawaii, ohana are we. From sunrise east to sunset west, aloha for us all. I got chicken skin. I love this place, and thank you, Kealoha, for the wonderful rendition of the "Oh Beautiful Hawaii." And as we like to start with a few announcements, but first and foremost, we are a prayer ministry. So you can download the You Pray app on your iPhone, your Android, and with that, you get all kinds of prayer support. And as we all know, prayer works in our lives. Let's utilize the tools that we have. So when you download this app, you can submit your prayer request directly to Silent Unity and choose, if you want to, receive a response from them. In addition, you can listen to short meditations and many affirmations. And if you need prayer support, please don't hesitate to call the church at 808-322-0885. And so your prayer request from the church will be prayed on here and then sent on to Silent Unity, where they receive an additional 30 days of continuous prayer. And so utilizing the prayer in our lives, and so these are the tools for prayer. When two or more pray together, there's a lot of power in that. So let's use this. There's also prayer requests in the back of the sanctuary and the prayer request box over there. So if you leave your prayer requests in the box in the back of the sanctuary, we will pray over them here and then send them on to Silent Unity. So we have prayer chaplains in service. So if you need of any prayer at all after service, please pull me or Virginia aside, and we'll sit with you and have prayers. And your prayer chaplains are always available for you, so don't hesitate to call the church. Again, it's 808-322-0885. Just a couple of more announcements, but this is not too bad today. We have actually the new terminology here. The Team Member of the Month. And so Team Member of the Month, congratulations to Glenna Hagendorn. Thank you, Glenna. Mahalos for all of your loving service to the ministry. Glenna, we are so blessed to have you at Unity of Kona. And so Glenna, she shares with her husband, Stan, they're faithful attendees here to our service when they visit the islands, and they continue to attend on the Facebook Live features and always joining us with the Zoom social hours, and she regularly volunteers to read the daily word when she's in the service here. So it's really cool. She also does some really neat workshops with beadwork and jewelry, and so Glenna, she's really involved with whatever's going on around her, and so we love her spirit. We love you, Glenna, and so she's always willing to be of service in so many ways. So altogether we say, mahalo, and we love you, Glenna. Woohoo! And please do consider supporting the church, Unity of Church of Kona, becoming a contributor, sharing your time, talents, and your treasures. This is a spiritual community, and even though our services are online, we welcome volunteers, team members. And for the singing, the playing, the music, reading the daily word, so many different ways to participate and become part of this team up here. So we need greeters, platform assistants, audio visual. Yeah, we have a lot of openings. So people with big hearts, with lots of love to share, come join us here at the church and become one of our team members. And we are also staying the course right now, as Sunday services will be all produced online. We are now open for services, so please come in and join us for service. We are still taking temperatures, wearing masks, covering the nose, and continuing to signing the release forms. And so please join us again, but we're also requesting all socializing after the service be done outside of the sanctuary where there's a little more room and we can interact a little closer. So the Board of Trustees wants to keep everybody safe, and while also allowing as much as possible the gatherings here at the church, we want to make sure that everybody stays safe and gets to see one another again. It's been a long time, so we got a lot going on, new events happening, so do participate and come join us at the service. And I believe that's what I have for announcements this morning. And so for our daily work, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have a new program coming up on the 6th of June. We're having an after service thing where it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have the singing bowls with Kayla. And also I and Chris are going to be doing Reiki on the lawn. And so we'll have a new table set up out there and doing light healing. So anybody with needs or concerns or just some tension, we'll lay you out on the massage table and offer Reiki. It's an honor to be able to share light, and this is Reiki light touch. Actually, you don't have to touch, so it's social distance healing. And so send your messages, requests for social distance healing, or just come and join us, but we can share Reiki wherever you are. And so it's our lovely delight to be able to share this light of God that's within us. And it's a sharing of that light. So join us on June 6th for after service, singing bowls, and Reiki. Whoa, that's going to be a lot of fun. And so at this time, I've asked Dondi to come up and do the daily word. So thank you, Dondi.
Aloha, kakayaka, everyone. Today's daily word is faith. My faith keeps me focused on God. I may not be able to control what happens around me, but I am always free to choose what happens within me. My perception determines my experience. I begin with faith. I choose to see the vibrant wholeness that is present even during illness. I open my heart and mind to the harmony that I know is possible even in the midst of apparent discord. When my needs appear greater than my resources, I remind myself all supply springs forth from the inexhaustible well of divine substance. I am reassured by remembering all situations are temporary and God is greater than every circumstance. Through my faith, I align my thoughts with the divine and believe in this truth that sets me free. And the Bible verse today is from Luke 17:6. If you had faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say this to this mulberry tree, be uprooted and planted in the sea, and it would obey you. Again, Luke 17:6. And the word today is faith. And you say the affirmation with me. My faith keeps me focused on God. Mahalo.
And so it is. Just a little bit of faith. And with their faith in our hearts, let's take this moment to visualize our sanctuary. And as we come together in this moment of time and visualizing our sanctuary, visualize the sanctuary of your soul. See this as a beautiful heart. Feel the loving energy of those all around you flowing in and through you. See the loving energy flowing around every person, every being on this earth and in this world. And if you know of anyone in your life or in this world that's in need of prayer, see them in the center of this beautiful, most beautiful heart. As together we say the prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you. Thank you, God. Our speaker today is Kealoha Sagiyama. He's going to come up now and do our meditation, and then we'll have some music, and then we'll have the message. Thank you, Kealoha.
Being that this month the theme is power, my meditation is based on the book by Charles Fillmore, The 12 Powers of Man. So let us relax, take a few deep breaths, that we can be in touch with the power within. Let us slide down the colors of the rainbow. First on the color red, representing elimination, where we let go and let God, where we forgive ourselves for all the self-inflicted nonsense. We move down to the color orange, the power of understanding, the power of knowing right from wrong. Then we come to the color yellow, representing the power of imagination, where we create, where our thoughts become things. Moving down to the color green, the power of faith, knowing that it is already so, knowing that it is already done, knowing that you already have it. Moving down to the color blue, the power of love. The love that we were created from. The love representing the likeness and image of God. And then we move down to the color purple. The power of God within you. Feel that power within you and connect with the Creator, knowing that all is good, all is well. And now that we are rejuvenated and renewed with new beginning, new life, let us return to our physical state, climbing up the colors, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, and proclaim your power with God. And so it is.
Thank you, Kualana. Thank you so much.
So the intent of that music is to get you into the mood to what my okay. Now the music was chosen to get you into the mood for this journey that we're going on. And so it begins with Pele and Hi'iaka taking a journey from Kilauea to the Hamakua coast. And as they come to Laupoihoi, Pele is now tired and she needs to rest. So they find a nice cool spot and Pele takes a nap. And while she's taking a nap, she hears the sound of the beating drums. And in her dream, she says, "Noia mai, where is this sound coming from? Where is this drum beat coming from?" So she leaves her body, and spiritually, she starts traveling. So at this point, we need to understand that A Course in Miracles says we are not a body, we are spirit. And so she goes and flies over Maui, and the sound is still faint. She flies over Molokaʻila Na'i, and then on to Oahu. Still, the drum beat is faint. And then she comes closer to Kauai. And as she gets closer to the island, the drum gets louder and louder. And as she appears, she sees this drummer. His name is Lohiau. And their eyes meet, and instantly, love is in the air. And upon this instant love, Pele stays with Lohiau for 9 days in total bliss to have Lohiau by her side. However, in the meantime, Hi'iaka, her favorite sister, is in Laupoihoi, watching over her physical body. And so it's been 9 days. So what does Hi'iaka do? She worries. All kinds of negative thoughts come to the mind. What happened to Pele? Did she get into an accident? Is she hurt? And so the lesson is just like us. When we don't know what is happening, we create monsters. Something must have happened. Must have had an accident. Must be sick. So we create these monsters into our lives, yet not knowing that the other person is well and good. So we need to watch how we take on conclusions with our thoughts, because this is what self-inflicted nonsense is all about, is that we create these monsters. So we need to be careful with our thinking. Now, Pele realizes that she needs to go back to her physical body in Hawaii. So she tells Lohiau, I need to go back and get back into my physical body. And I will send someone to get you and bring you to me on Hawaii Island. So she leaves Lohiau and she comes back and she gets back into her body. And Hi'iaka is so relieved that all is well. So as time goes on, Pele is still longing for Lohiau, and her heart and her love is missing him so much. So she decides to send one of her sisters. So she goes and asks her sisters to do this task for her, and they all refused. And lastly, she asked Hi'iaka if she would go and do the task. And Hi'iaka says, yes, I'll be glad to do it on these conditions. One, you take care of my ohia forest. Two, you take care of Hopoi, my best friend. And Pele agrees to those conditions. And Pele says, I have one condition also. You have 40 days to go to Kauai and bring Lohiau to me. Now, look at our lives. Do we make conditions every time someone asks us to do something? Do we just do it because, or it comes with conditions and obligations, and then I'll do it? So we need to do things just because, without making conditions to get something back in return. So Hi'iaka is preparing, and Pele gives her 3 gifts for this journey. And the first gift is the power of the eye, the power of knowing what is past, present, and future to help her in her journey. The second is the strength of Kilauea that will help her, that whatever force may try to stop her, that she will have that strength of Kilauea to overcome. And the third was the lightning skirt, or the pa'u skirt. And so she receives these 3 gifts, and the journey begins. So Hi'iaka goes over to Maui, and she doesn't hear the drums. Over to Lanai, Molokai, and then she comes to Oahu. And here Oahu is raining. And if you know the ko'olau rains a lot. And so as she's getting closer to the ko'olau, she hears the rain. And it's getting louder and heavier. And so as she gets to Oahu, a mo'o, a dragon, appears. And she takes off her pa'u skirt, and like Wonder Woman, she flings that skirt, and it slices the mo'o head, and it falls into the bay of and so that head that fell into the ocean is what we call Chinaman's hat. But that is the neck that is sticking out. his head is embedded at the bottom. So the head falls into Kualoa Bay. And then she continues on. And so all this took time away from her travel. So she finally leaves Oahu and heads towards Kauai. And as she gets closer to Kauai, she doesn't hear any drumbeat calling her, as Pele described. And so she arrives in Kauai, and instead she hears the sound, "Ue, ue, ue." And she hears the village wailing. And so she asks, "Why are you wailing?" And they inform her that Lohiau had passed away, had died from a broken heart for Pele. And so Hi'iaka starts chanting, and she gets the kahunas to join her. And for 7 days, they start chanting and chanting and chanting the word to bring life back into Lohiau. And so, in this moment, all the elements that she used to bring Lohiau back to life is all in the head portion of the 12 Powers of Man, a book. And it is the understanding, the power of understanding, the power of faith, the power of imagination, the power of will. So all this power from the neck up and the power of the tongue, the words, Lohiau was brought back to life. And so Hi'iaka is pleased that now she can take Lohiau to Pele. But there is one dilemma. The 40 days had lapsed because of all the trials and tribulations on her trip. So we go back to Pele. She sees that Hi'iaka had exceeded the 40 days. So what does Pele do? She starts creating negative thoughts that Hi'iaka must have fallen in love with Lohiau, and that's why she hasn't returned. That they're together, love-making, and that's why she missed the 40 days, not knowing that the time was spent in renewing life. And so she tells Lohiau, we gotta hurry because I've already exceeded my 40 days, and Pele will be very angry. So they get on the canoe and they come across the ocean. And as they're coming towards Hawaii Island, Hi'iaka can see smoke bellowing over her ohia forest. And as they get closer, she sees that her ohia forest is burnt down. And Pele promised that she wouldn't do that. Nearby, she sees a clump of lava rock, which is Hopoi, her best friend. And Pele promised that she would bring no harm to Hopoi. So Hi'iaka is angry that Pele did not keep her word. Pele is angry that Hi'iaka didn't fulfill her obligation within 40 days. And so both of them coming from two negatives. And so when she gets on land, she sees Pele peeking behind a tree. So to scorn Pele, she embraces Lohiau. And Pele sees that, and she bursts into lava. And she starts coming down, flowing her lava down to the ocean where Hi'iaka and Lohiau is. And she comes down and she covers Lohiau. And Hi'iaka and Pele are fighting back and forth. Typical woman. Oh, back and forth. And finally, Pele cools down. And her lava stops flowing. And so Pele says, why weren't you back in 40 days like we agreed? And so when Hi'iaka told of all her trials and tribulations to the different islands, and then finding Lohiau dead, and having to do all this chanting and faith and understanding and imagination to bring him back to life, it exceeded that time limit. And so now Pele is sorry. Sorry that she did not keep her word, and out of her stinking thinking, she destroyed Hi'iaka's forest and Hi'iaka's best friend, Hopoi. And so they embrace in sisterly love. And so Hi'iaka turns over to Lohiau, that is now a pile of lava rock, and she brings him back to life. And in this new life, Pele gives Lohiau the choice of choosing Hi'iaka or Pele. So on this journey, we have to look at ourselves like Pele. It is said that Pele is a destroyer because she comes with her fire and destroys the forest. She destroys everything in her path. And recently, as you can see, the Puna district where she took all those homes and property and covered them with lava. So let us unite ourselves as Pele. Are we the Pele of this modern age? Are we destroyers of our clean air? Are we destroyers of our aina? Are we destroyers of our streams, our oceans, our forest? Yes, we are. And so we cannot point the finger to Pele that she's a destroyer without looking at the other three fingers pointing at us, that we too are guilty for the condition of our Mother Earth. So in Hawaii, what has been the buzzword? Aloha aina, love the land. Malama ka'aina, take care of the land. So in Hawaii, we realize what our kuleana is, what our responsibility is, so that our land can come back to life, that our land can be renewed, and it begins with us. A small island in the Pacific, it begins with us, and let the currents flow around the globe so that others can make that realization and do their part to rejuvenate and rebirth Mother Earth. Now, every time you hear the story of Pele, Hi'iaka is always next to her. And the reason is Pele may be the destroyer, but Hi'iaka is the rebirth. So when Pele flows her lava and everything is barren, Hi'iaka comes behind and up pops the ferns and the ohia trees, and life begins once again. So Hi'iaka is the force that brings life after the flow. But then there's another side of looking at Pele. Is really Pele destroying? Is she a destructive person? Pele is just redefining her Aina. With the last eruption, she recreated 800 more acres to the landmass. And those houses that were destroyed, it was in her normal path. That's why if you're in real estate, you know that if you're going to buy in that area, you better be forewarned that this is Pele's path. And you may not be able to get insurance for your house because of that known factor. But yet we still think it won't happen to us. And we go ahead and create neighborhoods, and here Pele comes down her normal path, and we say that she's a destroyer. So we need to look at this story of Pele, Hi'iaka, Lohiau, and relate it to our personal lives so that we can learn from it, we can understand by it, and we can use our powers to our highest good. And so, continue to use the powers within you. That's where it is. Mahalo.
Thank you so much, Kealoha. There's so much depth, Kona, within the Hawaiian stories. I've heard this story many different ways, told by many different storytellers, and it's an amazing saga, and it's like so many interpretations, but you have to keep the gist of the story the same, because it's all about the Kona, the meaning within the story that changes people's lives. Geologists use the stories of Pele, and the people carry these stories from generation to generation, keeping their culture alive. So when we share the stories of Hawaii, we keep the culture of Hawaiians alive. So thank you so much, Kealoha, for the wonderful story. And at this time, it's time to hold your gifts and offerings as we think about the lives that we live and the gifts that we can share with the world. So as we hold our gifts in our hands, the offertory blessings on the board, and so let's do this together. through me, divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. And so it is. Some more music from Kalani. Thank you, my friend. Kulani's spending his Sunday here with us, and then he's making a major move in his life. So we honor and thank him for his music, and his time that he spent here with us in Hawaii. And I know, hui ho, we will see you again. So thank you, Kulani. And so we have the offering plate in the back of the sanctuary, many ways to donate. So as we now bless these offerings, and so we know that through Spirit, we do know that as we give, so shall we receive. And now we dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in this ministry, in our lives, and in this community. Thank you, God. Amen. And so today we'll hold, right before we finish up with our closing songs, will be Let There Be Peace on Earth and Aloha Oi. But in closing, I'd like to ask you to join us for the Facebook Live event there. Please tell your friends about the Facebook Live event as we share the culture of Hawaii and the unity principles here in Hawaii. And so join us again next week. And we're also found on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitch. And so absolutely the Facebook Live. So join us. Leave comments on the Facebook thing there so we can also acknowledge everybody. Thank you for joining us online. And next Sunday, well, I'm going to be doing this talk, and so it's all about the stories of Pele again. And so this is our Hawaii month, Hawaiiana, and so Hawaii ne. And so I've got armloads of stories teaching fourth grade children about their culture and what an honor it is to share the Hawaiian culture's stories. Through the stories, the culture will live on. And so join me next week as I do some more stories of Pele, and I might have a couple more tricks up my sleeve. And music next week will be by Larry Sire from studio in Bastrop, Texas. So he's coming to us live, and so it's really cool new equipment here at the church. We're real excited to be able to bring virtual musicians into the church. And so please join us for the virtual social hour after the service, and the Zoom link is now provided on the Facebook page. And so please leave any comments at the end of the service, and we will need to be admitted one at a time on the Zoom link. So, my friends, let's do our closing songs. Let there be peace on earth and aloha oi. So please make a big circle in the sanctuary as we get going with it. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. So as we finish up for the day, please join us next week, and God bless everybody. Have a wonderful week as we'll finish up with Aloha Oi. One fond embrace, aloha, until we meet again. As we say it, ahui ho, until we meet again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Kulana, you got a little out music for us? Thank you, my friend. Every time, but that was an amazing service. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you said it okay.
Long after
Because I didn't
this,
sing it on, you know,
and the summer
Diana signaled me that I need
is
to
gone.
So,
oh, okay.
you know,
okay.
because I
I'll
didn't
be
turn
lonely.
it on.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
So
so
she said,
lonely.
Okay.
close.
Oh, okay.
And then I realized, oh, I didn't turn it on.
And then,
So
okay, that's where the hiccup
Remember?
is.
that's where
Yeah.
I shouldn't have. I should have turned it on and not.
Right, yeah. So we'll get the hang of this thing.
I'll
I
remember
know it takes a little time. We're not as young as we used to be.
Thank you so
What a
much.
wonderful
voice.
service. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't heard the story quite that way.
As it
It's like really amazing
Summer
to hear different versions.
See, that's why in the Hawaiian
your
culture,
sweet laughter,
see, in the Western
mornings
culture,
after,
it's
ever after.
you know, you tell your
I'll
story and I say,
remember you.
yes, but,
But no.
you know, but the Hawaiian culture is,
Come someday,
yes, and
And
I'll
the way
return to say
my family that was
share.
the story.
Right.
You know, then it doesn't make you wrong.
No, and that's what I tell people when I'm on tour. You may have heard this story before, but their good storyteller will always make it its own. And so everybody has their own stories to tell. And when you tell your story, you release that energy that's been built.
Love me
So telling your
always.
story is a release
Promise always.
Yeah.
for the family. It's a wonderful thing.
So, you know,
I'll remember to.
this is like the story of Kamehameha.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many
I'll
stories.
remember.
Oh, yeah. Hakalau.
And so, you know, so when you say, and, you know, this is the way our family